So, were you atheist or?
Yeah.
Yeah, why's that?
Why is that?
Yeah, like what's like, were you born atheist or were you like just born
Oh
into it?
yeah, everybody's born an atheist. Babies don't have beliefs.
Well, you can grow up. Well, actually, in Islam, everybody's born a Muslim, but like, why are you atheist though? Like, what's like you have
Well,
no?
okay, that, but that's just a claim though.
All
The
right,
idea
man.
that
Like I
babies
said,
have
I'm not
beliefs,
gonna, I'm not gonna
that
argue
seems
that
really
with you.
silly.
I'm not gonna argue that with you, but like, what's your like, like have you looked into like Islam at all or?
I mean, people have told me a little bit about it. I think it's just as believable as any mythology, which is like not.
Okay, but like something that can like predict miracles, like the Quran talks about the Big Bang, right?
It doesn't.
No, no, it does. See,
No,
that's how I know. That's how I know you haven't
it
like
has these
opened your
very
eyes.
it has these very loose words that don't mean
Yeah.
anything literally, and so people
Did
interpret
you read
them
it, or
to
you're
mean
just going off of
random different things. So
Did you actually
we're gonna
read
have
it,
to
or
take turns. Okay.
okay?
Right. So, it says these very poetic, loose things that don't literally mean anything at all,
Like
and then
what?
they can be interpreted to mean all kinds of things.
Okay, but like what though? Can you give me an example?
Oh, people have told me there's some verse where it talks about like a blinking star, and then they said that's
Okay, sorry,
scientific
my bad.
proof yeah. Remember when I said we got to take turns? Calm
All right,
down.
just yeah, go ahead, go
And they
ahead.
say like that's evidence or that's scientific proof that pulsars exist. And they say, how could somebody living in the year 850 or whatever it was
Important.
know about that? It's like they didn't. They just said some twinkle twinkle little star, dumb little poetry, and then people later interpret known facts. They take the conclusions they already have in mind and interpret some old texts in the known facts and say, oh, see this part where it says all this nonsense? That was actually science, and it's not.
Okay, so when you say people told you, are you referring to teenagers you're debating with on TikTok, or are you referring to people of knowledge?
Like, if you're just going
Yeah,
to
I
be
got you there,
angry,
buddy.
then I don't care,
No,
okay?
no, no. It's a genuine question. If your car breaks down, are you gonna go to a mechanic or are you gonna go on TikTok and look for your questions? You're saying
So
people told
I
you.
told you
Who
that
are the people?
I told you that other Muslims have told me
But
this.
on
So
TikTok,
if you think teenage Muslims are just know
brother,
nothings
listen.
that waste their time on TikTok, then that's fine. But
You're like hey, the problem is you're debating with Muslims on TikTok, and of course they're Muslims. But if you want actual like this bro, TikTok, the average on TikTok is 14 to 18. Like if you're looking for somebody who knows the Quran and somebody of knowledge within that age span, then you're not gonna find it. If you want your answers and if you have questions, then you need to go to somebody of knowledge, right?
okay, well,
Is
you're a
that fair?
Muslim on TikTok, so I'm gonna get literally
Oh,
no
but
wisdom
you're on
from you. Is
TikTok
that what
though.
you're saying?
No, no. Okay, so if my car breaks down, am I gonna go on TikTok and see how to fix it? Am I gonna go to a mechanic?
Then there's no point in me talking to you, is
No,
there?
no, no, no. I have more questions for you, but I'm just like asking. You're getting most of your whole like knowledge and stuff based off of like you do realize the people you're debating are between like 14 and 18, right? Like this is the
No,
like
they're
the
not.
audience of TikTok.
Yes, so that means therefore 100% of the people I've ever talked to are between the ages of 14 and
Well, no, no,
18,
no. I'm not saying that.
including
I'm
you,
just
so I
saying
shouldn't talk to
if
you.
they're giving you if
Look,
you're
you're
like
telling me, yes, your problem is you talk to Muslims on TikTok. You're a Muslim on TikTok. Why should I talk to you?
oh no
According
no
to
because
your
I'm
own
asking questions to you
line of reasoning here.
and like another thing like I can give you is
Oh, so we're changing the subject. Okay.
no well no like I said I can go back and forth with you all day with this spot
That's fine.
if my car breaks down personally I'm not going to TikTok I'm going to mechanic shop because they'll give me the correct info right.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so
So who should I talk to? Should I talk to you?
no, no, but like your
No?
questions that you
Okay.
have.
Bye.
Yeah, get out of
What's
here,
going
buddy.
on?
Take care, man. Listen, if you want answers, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to offend you at all. If you want answers, okay, let's just say you have an engineering assignment, okay? If you want answers, you're
Dude,
gonna go on
I
TikTok.
understand your metaphor
There you
completely.
go.
You don't
Okay,
have to
so
keep
like,
telling it to
okay,
me.
okay. As long as you understand, that's where I'll stop. I do have another question for you. Like the Quran, certain things in the Quran, how like month is mentioned 12 times, Earth is mentioned 115 times, the word day is mentioned 365 times.
Wow, a Texas sharpshooter fallacy.
Oh no, no, no,
Interesting.
wait, hang on. Like, men and women are both mentioned equal amount of times. Good deeds and bad
No,
deeds, hell and
Texas
heaven.
sharpshooter fallacy. I know what these are.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you got to say about that? Did they sit there and 14 years ago and no technology? I think that they just see that and
I think that if you have a book that contains many tens of thousands of words, you can arbitrarily draw patterns around whatever you want. Meanwhile, the rest of it contains no patterns because that's exactly what an enormous book of words You can draw any pattern out of a huge book of words like that. It's called a Texas sharpshooter fallacy.
Like I said, you also know that when like the pyramids were built, the person that in charge of like the stone carrying work, the Quran got his name right, and it also told us how the
How
top
do
of
we
the
know that
pyramids.
person's name?
Because when we translated the ancient Egyptian writing with the Rosetta Stone, we found out that was his name. You can search it up, man. I'm just telling you.
What's his name?
I believe it's Hamdan or Hamad. So like the top of the pyramids, science now is telling us that they were baked. They weren't actually carried. So you can look that up. It's some homework for you. But
Baked,
the Quran
not
actually,
carried. What does that mean?
like you can search it up. I saw a couple articles on Google. You can search it up. It's a little homework for you. And the Quran tells us, it tells us that, and then it also tells us the name of the person. Like if you have like TikTok on a separate device, I can send you the video if you'd like. Just so you can watch it and see like some of the sources they have, and you can look at it.
You can DM it to me if you want, and I
Yeah,
can
sure.
check it out.
Do you have your link in bio or anything?
So what's this?
Like,
What's this thing about the Big Bang being in there?
yeah, so it's like this is why I want you to like, you seem like a pretty smart person. I want you to like do some homework and don't just blindly follow something. Like these miracles, it even talks how the two seas, they don't transgress. Yeah,
Salt water and fresh water. Anybody in a boat could see
yeah,
that.
but 14 years ago, did they have boats?
1400 years ago, did people have boats? Yes.
Well, boats to take them to that. Like, you have to understand, they were in Saudi Arabia at the time. That boat is
do not have to go very far to see
dude. Okay,
where fresh water
okay,
from rivers
you're a science guy.
runs
Where is that?
runs
Where is
into
that?
ocean water. You don't have to go very far.
Okay, so you're a science guy. Where is that? Where the two mix, like the two TCs don't mix. Where is that in the world?
It's anywhere where there's a river delta.
What?
It's anywhere where a river empties into the ocean.
I don't get it. What do you mean? If there's water, okay,
Fresh water and salt water, they have different densities. Yeah, they don't mix right away very well at all.
14 years ago.
What?
How would they have known that?
Because you can see it with the naked eye.
Okay, and I'm saying, where would they have seen that?
It's not
in
special.
the area they were in. Where would they?
Look, dude, your standard for a text being divinely inspired is a naked eye observation. Like, what in the show me something way more sophisticated.
No,
than
these
that.
are just a bunch of things, but I'm just saying at the time where they were, how could they have seen that? Because every time I ask that question, they say,
By going into the water.
Okay, so
or maybe
I
they could
have
have
a
heard
pool.
it
I have a
from
pool in my
other
backyard.
people
Listen,
who went into the water.
Listen, I have a pool in my backyard. Okay, I see the water. It's a pretty big pool, in-ground pool. It's all mixing. There's not a barrier in between where it's bacteria and water. What's going on there? Come on, answer the question.
You have a pool in your yard, therefore.
No, you're saying the water, how it does doesn't mix, okay, like doesn't transgress, and they're talking about that the
Salt
ocean.
water and fresh water, yeah.
Okay, so if you put fresh water and salt water, it won't mix.
No, not easily. They eventually do, but when it comes into the water, they stay separated. You can also see this with water even fresh water with sediments, which you can kind of think of salt water like that. But I've seen this in rivers before. The water heavy with sediment and the water that is fresh, like that comes out of a spring, they don't mix either. I've seen that with the naked eye.
Right, yeah, no, but I'm saying back then when like, in Saudi Arabia especially.
People could make these very simple naked eye observations back then too.
No, that's
they
like
could have
the
heard
thing is
about
I'm
it
just
from
giving
other
like
people.
base things, but like if you like I can send you a link. There's like even talks about how water like it was sent down through iron, or I don't want to mix anything up, but I can get you the verse. And it even talks about like science recently discovered that the male, like the gender of the baby, it actually comes from the male. Are you aware of that at all, or where do you think
In mammals, the SRY gene on the chromosome, yeah. So it says that in the Qur'an.
Yeah, I can. Would you like to give me the? Would you like to look at it?
Do you know the verse?
Yeah, I can find it here. So like I can explain it. So the gender of the baby is actually it's depending on the male.
Yes.
Right. Oh, okay, yeah. And it says here. I'll find it for you actually here.
Okay. Well, you do that. I'm gonna find.
Sure, man. Go ahead.
We know that Aristotle said the same thing.
But when was that?
Aristotle predates the Quran by quite a bit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like Like the Quran was 1400 years ago. Like the stuff you're saying. And let me just. Sorry, I should have had my sources ready when because I knew you were going to ask these questions. But
He created the pairs, males and females, from a sperm drop when it is emitted.
yeah. So what does that tell you?
That tells me nothing specific. I could easily read this and say that
Hey, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. You're
life
skipping the gun here.
life comes from that within. So there was an idea called preformationism, which I could so easily argue that this is preformationism. Okay, because preformationism was the idea that inside of either the sperm or the egg, different people thought different things. There existed a tiny little fully formed homunculus, right?
Okay.
And a fully formed organism, but just really small, and it grew larger. Now, the spermists, which included Lazzaro Spallanzani. No, Spallanzani was an ovist. Sorry, my bad. Well, I can try to look for them later. But they thought that the fully formed human was inside of there, right? So he created the pairs males and females from a sperm drop when it is emitted, right? That sounds like the person is in the sperm, and that's not true.
No. Well,
So
like
because it doesn't specifically say anything, we can make it say whatever we want, which is exactly what I was talking about earlier.
yeah, but like it's right in front of you. Like if you read it, like I'm not kind of getting understand what you're getting at here. It clearly says that the gender of the baby is determined.
No, it doesn't clearly say that at all.
Read
It
it
doesn't
again.
specifically say anything.
Wait, read it again.
Yeah, he created the pairs males and females
Males
from
and
the
females.
sperm drop when it is emitted.
Okay, males and females, gender, right? Males and females.
Yeah, so if
When
it
from
said
a
the
sperm
word
drop
gender,
when it is emitted.
look, if it said there is a gene on the Y chromosome of the sperm that determines gender, that would be interesting. It doesn't say that. Again, you're interpreting it in the light of known scientific knowledge and saying, "Oh, it really meant this." It's the what was that guy's name? It's the Nostradamus effect.
So you're saying like, so like
Saying
what's
it
your
doesn't
point? You're
say
saying that
anything
you think it means all of humanity, or I'm confused.
I could very easily argue that that's what it says.
So
Yeah.
why would it say? Well, then why would it not just say that? Why would it say the man
It
and
doesn't
female,
say
male and female?
anything specifically.
It says male and female.
Yes, it says male and female. Yeah.
Yeah. So why would it not? Why would it not say why? For example, why would it not just say we created all of humanity with it? You know what I mean?
Why doesn't it say that there is a section of nucleic acid on the Y chromosome of the spermatocyte? Why doesn't it say that?
Well, the thing is, obviously, Allah knows that. But if that's just the case, then then you atheists have nothing to like. Then life has to be a test. Like you know what I mean? Like there's enough miracles.
How convenient that
and
the
even
fact
says in
that
the-
you
even
don't
says in
have
the
good
Quran,
evidence is just a test of faith.
No. It even says in the Quran.
How terribly
which one,
convenient for
hold up,
you
hold up.
to just claim that.
It also says in the Quran which one of your favors.
Allah doesn't give good reasons. You have to just kind of
listen.
make the leap.
There's enough miracles, and then even says in the Quran which one of your favors, which one of the favors of your Lord will
Prove
you
any
deny?
miracle. Go ahead.
What's that?
Prove any miracle that you
No,
want.
no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I still have more here, but I'm just saying, like, even in the Quran, it says which one of
Right.
your Lord's miracles, will you deny? And you're not denying all of them here, so like,
Do you think that, considering that even 1400 years ago, there were, there were probably 500 million humans on the planet,
Yeah.
Let's say that one day it looked like there were two suns in the sky.
Okay, what is all right?
Well, okay, sorry. Let me rephrase
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Let's say we find a book from like the Olmecs, which were a tribe that lived in Central America, like in Mexico, I believe. And they have this story where one day their son became two suns for like a day or whatever. And we know that everybody on the planet would have seen this happen.
Yeah.
But everywhere else on the planet, outside of that Olmec story, nobody else says this ever. To me, I would then conclude that the Olmecs just kind of have this story that they made up, and it didn't really happen.
Like I said, we can go back to this. I'm just going to show you more verses, and like
Okay,
you're
I
good at
promise we can
science.
do whatever verse you want next after we go through my little thing that I want to bring up here. So
Yeah,
just
sure.
asking if you agree with the logic of that.
A logic of what? Sorry, I didn't get what you were saying.
if a tribe, a Mesoamerican tribe hundreds of years ago, like 1.5 millennia ago, made up a story where one day they saw the sun turn into two suns, but
Right.
no other culture on Earth has the same story, even though they would have all seen it and it would have been like the most miraculous thing ever. If no other culture has that story, to me, that's very, very good reason to assume that the Olmec story is just made up. Do you agree with the logic of that or
Well, the
no?
thing is, you can say made up all you want, but these things I'm showing you, the fact that somebody like even knew this like 1400 years ago, and there's no science, no
So,
technology, nothing.
yeah, I'm just asking you if you agree with the logic of the Olmec story or not.
Like I said, I don't want to say I mean I can't give you an answer because it may for now I'm just gonna say no, but I have to like look into that. But like I said, I don't really know what you're like trying to get at, so I can't really agree with it because I don't really understand what you're saying, to be honest. Like,
It's not even.
what is it? What are you trying to prove? What's like the gist of it?
Asking you if you actually think. I'm asking you, how should we think about a claim? If one single source makes an extremely miraculous claim
Okay, I
that
understand.
would have
Okay.
been witnessed by every single person on the planet, and no other person on the planet has the same story, to me, that's really good evidence that the story is just made up.
Okay, well, if the story, or if let's say the book in this case is telling you stuff like this, like just all these miracles, and of course you're gonna believe it because how could this have known that? Like you have to think out bigger than.
You, for some reason, think I'm talking about the Quran, and
No, no,
I'm
you're
not.
saying I know what you're saying, and I don't agree with that. The thing is, I would agree with it if there is just a group of people that said, okay, at one point I looked outside and there's 400 suns. Okay, who's gonna believe that? But if somebody like said that, and then you can these miracles that you can see, you're gonna spark some like, and not even
Right.
not only
Okay.
that.
So what about a book that says one day the moon split in half? Everybody on the planet would have seen that, but nobody else has this
How
story.
are they gonna see that? Fortune like in that time, did they
The
have
moon
that?
splitting in half. How are they going to see that 1400 years ago? They would have looked up. That would be the way to do it.
Well, like I said, you need to read that because I know exactly what you're talking about. You need to read that verse. But do you mind if I ask you like, what's your whole take on? Are you like good with science and stuff? So like most of the stuff you're kind of familiar with, or would you have to like look at a source?
I'm pretty good with science
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay. So hang on, let me just get you one here. So do you have a computer with you? Can you just look up Quran 5725?
Oh boy. Is this the thing about water?
Read it.
We have already sent our messengers with clear evidences and sent down with them the scripture and the balance that the people may maintain their affairs in brackets in justice. And we sent down iron wherein is great military might and benefits for the people.
It didn't say.
So
It
that
said, I mean, with its great inherent strength.
that's not what mine says.
Well, like you're on Google. Like, what's the website you're on?
Legacy.quran.com.
Like, you should just be Quran.com. What do you mean legacy? Is that like a version of it, or?
That's the URL, dude.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
that's
does this
fine.
one word matter
No,
that
no, like
much?
I was just okay. Anyways, continue.
Okay. We sent down iron, wherein is this grammar makes no sense. Wherein is great military might and benefits for the people, and so that Allah may make evident to those who support him and his messengers unseen. Indeed, Allah is powerful and exalted.
Okay,
You
so
think that that's
hang on.
science?
So science states that billions of years the Earth was struck by meteorites, and then it is
Oh
within the
my
meteorites
fucking
that the
god!
iron.
And that says that.
No, what do you mean? It says that
That's what this says. The
we
Earth was
sent down
formed. The Earth
iron.
was formed in space by a nebulous, or by nebulous material, including concretions of iron and mineral that came together to form a planetary body. That's what this says to you.
And we sent down iron, its great inherent strength and many benefits of humankind. And then now scientists state that billions of years ago the Earth was struck by meteorites, and is within these meteorites the iron was present. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
I don't know what right or wrong means.
No.
Earth,
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
we're pretty sure Earth is formed of meteorites, and I'm quite certain that this does not say that.
Okay. So you agree that science, like, okay, you agree with science that billions of years ago the Earth was struck with meteors, and within these meteorites the iron is present,
And
right?
that's not what this says at all.
We sent down iron with its great inherent strength and many benefits for humankind. We sent down iron. What does that mean?
Nothing in
Okay.
particular.
It's a four word. It's literally four words. It would mean nothing in particular. We sent down iron.
Yeah, that
It
means
was
nothing
within these
in
meteorites the
particular.
iron was present.
Who is we? And what does it mean to send down iron?
Like, you need to read, like I said, these are questions that these are stumping you because like
They're not stumping me.
they are because you're saying a four-letter word.
You're
We sent down
interpreting
iron.
poetry to mean
You're
whatever
asking
you
me.
want it to mean.
You're asking me what does it mean when literally a four we sent down iron. What do you think that means?
Specifically, nothing. I don't know the context
All
of
right.
what this is when this was written and what the overall story is. Like, what's the greater story that's being talked about here?
I'm a loss for words that like you're just denying this guy. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Let me just look at
That's great.
so like you want to do Quran 51:47? Just read what that says. It's not that long.
51,
47.
47. We should do the one where it says that sperm comes from the back between the ribs, because that's obviously false. So that would be fun
We'll
to
look it
read.
after. Let's on.
We built the universe with great might, and we are certainly expanding it.
There is the universe expanding.
It appears to be, yeah. Is that what
Yeah.
this means?
Yeah.
Who's we? Are you a polytheist?
No, it's like I saw like a reason for that. It's like I looked at again. I don't want to say because I'm not too knowledgeable in the Quran in case I give out like wrong info.
Oh,
But
wow.
like it's obviously it's Allah's word, right?
Allah's word is plural. Allah has they, them pronouns.
No, like I said, if you would look that up, this is why I want you to talk to somebody of like knowledge who give you these answers. Like I said, I'm on TikTok. I don't
Why am I talking to you? I don't understand.
because I'm giving you some
You should
miracles,
just
and
talk to some. This whole thing started off with. See, your problem is you talk to Muslims on TikTok. I'm a Muslim on TikTok. Here to tell you that your problem is that you talk to Muslims on TikTok.
I'm just saying, man. Have you been like to a mosque? I know you have mosques in your area, or like imam offices. Have you spoken to anybody of knowledge? Yes or no?
Have I spoken to anybody of knowledge? I've talked to scientists before.
So,
Does that count?
all right, man. All I want you to do
What are
is
you?
just
What are you laughing at?
like the fact that you're getting your answers off TikTok is just mind blowing. If you actually want,
I don't
answers,
get my answers off of TikTok. I have a library, and it's composed mostly of nonfiction.
listen, man. All I want you to do before because you don't know when it's your time to go in this world, and if that is the case and you die a disbeliever, it's not going to be a good.
That's great. I don't care. I've been threatened before.